Good morning students. As in previous video you were studying the chapter The Road Not Taken. This is the poem composed by an American poet Robert Frost. Two stanzas already you have studied, in which you have found how Robert Frost once he was standing at the junction, at the point where two roads were diverged, separated into different directions, and he was standing in that yellow wood. The wood was yellow because of autumn season. The road wanted to travel, so he wanted to choose one of the best roads, but he kept the first road to the other day and he took the second road, and he thought that the second road was better than the first road. Students, in standard 2 you have studied. Again his mind had changed and he thought about passing by the people on the both roads. About the same number of people had travelled on both roads. Up to this part we will study. Now see the third stanza. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden back black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on way, I doubted if I should ever come back. As in the morning he was looking at the two roads, he had to clarify, he had to choose the better road, and he had taken the next road. The first he had kept for other day, we study outside. Again he was thinking, and both that morning equally lay. There was similarity. Here he says that, and both that morning equally lay. Lay means existed. Both the roads were lying there. In leaves no step had trodden black. In leaves, they were covered with leaves. Both the roads were covered with leaves, and no step had trodden black. Step had trodden black. No people had walked on them. Both the roads were covered with leaves, and no people had travelled on them. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on way. Students, when the poet found that the two roads were equally lying there, existing there, and they were covered with leaves, and no people had travelled on both the roads, then he kept first road for another day. He thought that he would come back and he would walk on the first road again in future. Oh, I kept the first for another day. The first road he had kept for another day to travel on it. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, he knew how one road leads to another road. I doubted if I should ever come back, but there was a doubt in his mind whether he would come back to that place or not. It was not clear. So it was doubt in him. See this paradox. In that morning, Robert Frost was standing in a forest where two roads had diverged in different directions. He had to choose one of the best roads, and he saw that both the roads were lying equally, as both were covered with leaves and no people had travelled on them. So the poet kept the first road for another day to travel on it, and he knew how one road leads to another road, But there was a doubt in his mind whether he would come back to that place or not. See the last stanza. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere aged hence, two roads diverge in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. Students, at last, when the poet took the second road, and first road he kept for the other to travel on it, and earlier I have told you that in this poem roads means the choices of life, the ways of life, the occupations of life that you are going to choose in your life, the aims that you are making to become in your life. The poet has chosen the second road, and he had been a poet. The choice that he had taken, the way that he had taken in his life, had made him a poet. Means the poet wanted to become a poet. He wanted to become a poet. That road he had adopted. But in this stanza it had been given whether he was satisfied with that choice or not. See this. I shall be telling this. What telling this? The poet is saying that whenever in future somebody would ask him how he had been a poet, how he had adapted this road, this way of life, he would tell them, see, I shall be telling this with a sigh, with sadness, with regret. Means the poet was not satisfied with the choice that he had made in his life. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Telling this means what? Telling that there were two roads and he was standing at the place where two roads were diverged in different directions and headed after the second road. This. Somewhere ages and ages hence. Hence means from now. Hence means from now. From now. Hence. Ages after ages. Ages and ages, after a long time, after a long time, ages and ages, ages and ages, after a long time. The poet is saying that after a long time future, after choosing his road, when he had been a poet, the poet thinks that in future after a long time if somebody would ask him, then he would tell, what he would tell? That two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by. The poet says that in future after a long time if somebody would ask him, he would tell with sigh, with regret, with sadness, that there were two roads. He was standing at the point where two roads were separated in different directions, and he chose the second road. He kept the first road for another day, and he selected the second road, thinking that it was less travelled by the people, less people had travelled on it, and that has made all the difference. And he would tell the person who would ask him, he would tell him that the choice that he had made in his life, the road that he had taken, had brought difference in his life. What difference in his life? That he had been a poet. But he was not satisfied. See the explanation. After choosing the second road, after choosing the second way of life that he had selected, and he had been a poet, he says that after a long time, when somebody would ask him about his choice, he would tell him with sigh, he would tell him with sadness that there were two roads separated in different directions in a road, and he had selected the second one, and he had kept the first for another day. He chose the second road that was less travelled by the people, and this road had made difference in his life. Means the way of life that the poet has chosen made the difference in his life. In this way, students, you have studied how the poet Robert Frost was standing in a yellow wood. Yellow wood means the wood that was looking yellow because of autumn season. As in autumn season, the leaves are looking yellow. Its color is changed. So the poet has chosen the second road and thinking that it was less traveled by the people, and by choosing by selecting the choice, he had been a poet in his life, but he was not satisfied with this choice. As he had said that he would say after a long time, if somebody would ask him, so he would say with a sigh, with regret, with sadness, that there were two roads, and he had chosen the second one that made difference in his life. In this way, students, you have studied this poem. The poem is completed, and you have to write the different words in your notebooks. You should recite the poem, you should revise the poem. If any problem, then you ask me, and next day we will discuss over the questions and questions of exercise. Thank you.